So now I'm going to come back in with the light cobalt turquoise 154, and I'm going to continue to build up my layers throughout the dress. So I'm going in light circular motions, and I'm using a light pressure. So where it's deepest shadow, you can put a bit of a harder pressure or medium pressure, and then just go light as you head into the whiter areas. Now with polychromos, because they're oil-based, they work really best when used with light layers. The Prismacolors, because they're wax and they're really like butter, they work well when you layer them, and then you can kind of blend them into each other. But the polychromos, being oil-based, don't really work that way. They need more layers to have more pigment, and they also work better with the layered technique. So it requires a bit more patience, and it is a little bit slower, but they really do shine when we use light layers. Now you can achieve the same style of dress that we're going for with Prismacolors or Castle Arts, any of the other pencils. You just want to choose a light, medium and dark blue, and then blend them into your whiter areas and create white highlights. So the dress is not a deep blue, it's almost like a whitish blue sort of effect. And if you're not getting the light layers by holding the pencil down, just bring your hand towards the back and carry on with those light layers. Now, Hanna Karlzon uses really great paper as compared to some of the other coloring books out there. So Prismacolors and Polys work really well on this paper. So does in Magical Dawn, Castle Art also behaves quite nicely. I haven't tried the round Brute Funers or the Black Widow. Sorry, is it the Black Widow? I think it's the Black Widow pencils. I've got one set. So I'm keen to actually do another page in one of Hanna Karlzon's books and use the Black Widow pencils and possibly the round Brute Funner pencils. And the only reason I have the round Brute Funner is because I got them for my boys as school pencils. So, and also to have cheap oil pencils to test and try before I got my polys. And the way the round Brute Funner pencils work is really, really beautiful. They're lovely pencils. They're just not marked very well, so I never know. I find it hard and off-putting to use them because of the way they're numbered. So it's that's one of my main reasons. I haven't tried Arteza either in these books, so that's another one that I can use. Maybe my next Hanna Karlzon picture, I'll use the round Brute Funners, the Artezas and the Monarchs, and we can have a look, see how that goes. Now the trick with all these layers on her dress is to really keep your lights and your dark shadows area quite dark, and that will create a beautiful contrast between the folds of her dress. if you don't do these areas here quite deep, when we put in a bit of Sakura Jelly Roll or Uniball Signo pen, it's going to not contrast very well. So this is where the more you build up your layers, the better the effect you're going to get. And then going for nice round circular motions, it will just help transition those gradients from dark to light a little bit more seamlessly and smoothly. With oil pencils, this is quite important because they don't go into each other as well as the Prismacolors. So you need to really work on those layers. Now I have some, my kids got started onto diamond painting over the Christmas holidays. It was a bit of a fad idea. I started it off for them, so I instigated it. And my eldest, he's done one or two, my middle child's done a couple more, but I've got a whole lot of those beads left over. So what I'm going to do is when we finish this dress, I'll bring out some of those beads and we're going to use them as decoration here at the bottom of the dress, and I'll see what I can use for these circles here. And I'm hoping that it will look quite nice, as I just want to sparkle her up a bit, and it also adds a bit of fun to the drawing. And I've also got some stars we can put over here. I've got smaller stars. If you want to color them in, by all means you can. You could use a jelly pen, not a jelly pen, a gel pen. I've been having a few late nights and waking up a bit early, so my brain is failing me a little bit today. If you look here on this fold here, we actually need to bring in some bluish turquoise, 149, and we need to just lightly and in small circles deepen here. Bearing in mind with the Sakura Jelly Roll or the White Uniball Signo pen, it's going to come onto these black lines. So we really do need to make sure these shadows are deep and not lost when we put the white highlights. All right, let's go back to our light cobalt turquoise and continue to lightly build up these layers down here. Okay, so now I'm going to go backwards. With polychromos, you start with your lightest color, you build it up, then you should go back down in the same order. So we're going to go in with the sky blue 146, and we're just going to focus here on these shadows. And when you start coloring with polychromos, you should do light layers first, and then when you go back down, you can start applying a harder pressure or medium pressure. And I think it's because it just gives the polys something to grasp, hold on. You know, they've got something to shine through instead of hard, and then you have like a streaky effect. So you really want to have created as smooth as possible your first layers, and then build up with a bit more pressure as you go back through the layers again. This is just what I've worked out using polychromos, watching videos. As I've said in previous videos, I'm self-taught, so everything I'm sharing with you is what I've learned, and some of it may not be accurate, or some parts will be accurate compared to what you would get from an artist. So as I learn more and grow, I will share with you what I learn, and how things have changed, or where I misunderstood, and then I'll fix those misunderstandings, and we can just grow together. So she's getting a really lovely blue color. And my last layer is going to be that darker blue. And then we'll go in with Prismacolor White, try and smooth over it so it will knock down the blue a bit and create a whitish blue instead of a blue, so to speak. So on her bodice, I'm just blending out that darker blue. Trying to keep those transitions smooth. Okay, then bluish turquoise, 149. And I'm going up and down very lightly. And also trying to go in a bit of light circles so that it doesn't create too much of a line. And then I'll go back over it and try and blend it out. Underneath the belt we'll also add a bit more of this blue because it's creating a slight shadow, and also her hands are going to be blocking the light, so we can deepen this up as well. Okay, next we're going to go over it again with the light cobalt turquoise, 154. And with the polys you want to have a sharp pencil. Apparently they blend better when the pencils are sharp. I find with polys, the more layers you have, the more it responds with a blending into each other than it does if you have only 2 or 3 layers. And I think it's because there's enough pigment to move around. Whereas if you have just a few layers, you don't have as much pigment to move around and blend into each other. It's the same as if you're using odorless minerals or a blending stump, blending pencil. The more layers you have, the more those sort of tools can do their job of blending. Okay, so now we're going to use the Prismacolor white, which is PC938, and we're going to blend the white areas into the blue. So you don't have to go into all the white areas. So here I'm not going to go too much with my white. I'm just going to go on the outskirts of the blue and over and just pull some of that blue out and lighten it. And that should create a smoother transition between my white areas and my blues. And Prismacolors work quite well with poly, so you can really mix these two brands with each other and create quite a lovely drawing or coloring page with them. The first time I learned about using polychromos with Prismacolor was in a coloring tutorial by Lavella's Coloring, and it was a dragon page I did with I think it was Where Dragons Dream or When Dragons Dream, and Lavella used a mix of polychromos and Prismacolors. At the time I didn't have polychromos, but it was very interesting to watch her create such a beautiful page using the two brands of pencils. So if you are keen to learn more about that, you can also go check out her channel. She's got amazing tutorials, and she's a really great colorist as well. If I zoom you into this section here a bit, and if I blend here, you can actually see that the Prisma white is blending into and over the polychromos, and that's going to create that beautiful blend I've been talking about. So there you have it. Prismas and polys work beautifully together. All right, let's carry on with the rest of her dress, and then we will do we'll do her cuffs and her belts silver, and then I will stop this tutorial and I will see you in the next video, where I'm hoping we can finish this page up. You can either use a Sakura Jelly Roll, a white gel pen, or a Uniball Signo pen. And either one is going to work. If you don't have either and you've got a white Posca pen, that could also work. And you can also use white acrylic paint with a paintbrush. So I've decided to use my white Uniball pen because the paint is coming out a bit better than in my Sakura Jelly Rolls. I think I need to buy new Sakura Jelly Rolls. I'll just zoom you in a bit more so you can see what I'm doing. So wherever my white touches go a bit into my shadowed areas, I just take a pencil and I just scratch it away until it's smooth. And you can use the same technique for fur when you use a white Sakura Jelly Roll or Uniball Signo pen and you're creating those highlights in your fur. You put down your white pen and then take your lightest pencil and just scratch it into the strands that you are wanting on your fur, and it just smooths and blends it out. I learned that from a Chris Cheng tutorial I did in one of the Twilight Garden tutorials on her channel, and I found it very interesting and very effective. Sorry guys, I'm concentrating, so I've gone quiet. the pen, once it's on the paper, you can also blend it in a little bit. So I'm using a white Posca pen now, because this white area on her dress, oh, there we go, I'll zoom you out a bit. The white area of the dress is a lot bigger, so and then just tidy it up. So I'm going to swap between the Posca and the white Uniball Signo pen. And I'm going to dab the Posca to try and blend it into the dress. For the finer lines, I'm going to use the white Uniball Signo pen or Sakura Jelly Roll, whichever one of mine will actually work. Okay, I'm going to try and switch over to my gel pens and see if that will help just define these light areas. Sorry guys, I really try not to block with my hand so that you can see as much as possible what I'm doing. So I'm just going over her sleeve with the white pen, and I'm just trying to clean it up and showcase the white. I finally got my pen to work, so I want to just keep working with it so that it doesn't start again. I'm just going to turn this around because I get better technique. All right, that's her dress done. So now we can carry on and move on to the rest of her. So we're going to do her shoes blue, and then her wand, her hair, her jewelry, and we will then embellish and be done. So that is it for this video. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.